I've been starved of. And if you're going to go for the hedonism thing, every once in a while, yeah, it's got to be good. So, but nah, it just sucked. So, I mean, the irony was there was loads of like in America you're not allowed to. They got really prudish drinking laws here. You're not allowed to drink till you're 21 or something. And I still will get people to ask me for my ID to show that I'm old enough to buy alcohol. And it's like, you've got to be kidding me. But no, that's actually legitimate. People will ask me for ID that I'm old enough to buy alcohol. And so you can get into the club, I think, at 18, but you can't drink till you're 21. So you can tell the people who are between 18 and 21 because they have stamps on their hands, and they're a load of like freshmen there, the first year students this year. And I mean, it was kind of cute in a way but yeah, I'm absolutely certain I fared no better when I was their age, but they were so sheepish. When I say sheepish, they followed each other around. Uh, the herding instinct was still strong in the young ones, to the point where you got one of them to dance on stage. They would all go dance on stage, and one of them left, and they would all leave. It was kind of amusing to watch, but oh, good grief, 18.
So,
Is that
I
young
take
enough to
it.
be your daughter?
I take it you didn't score.
That's I nah no.
Come on, hang on a second.
Nah, we'll
You took too long to answer that.
no.
Did you get a telephone number?
No, no, I mean, come on, but when
Come
there
on,
comes a point
no.
when someone is over 10 years younger than you, that, all right, relationships can transgress, mm, ex, large periods of experience, but once you get up to about 10 years, I mean, when you're 18, the difference between 18 and 19 is a lot. That's only a year. But no, I just feel really awkward. I mean, I'll dance with them and all that, and that's all good and fun. But that's really good and fun. But um, mm, it's. I remember what Donnie was saying earlier, that he went out with this girl and she was pretty and all that sort of thing, but when he got to talk to her, there was just nothing there. Experience uh, matters. Well, depends what sort of. Uh, if you're not into a talking relationship, then it really matters. But
Yeah, age difference is an odd thing, but there you go.
I mean, you get all this. It's an amazing thing about human relationships is there are all sorts of stable relationships. I mean, the relationships that I wouldn't necessarily go for, but uh, you get these. They're stable if unsatisfactory relationships. If you like, people have settled, or one abuses the other, but they take the abuse because they are for fear of losing someone or something like that. So there are all sorts of interesting unspoken negotiations that go on in relationships, um, and yeah, I mean, I find some of that stuff really weird. Like, don't these people ever discuss in due honesty their relationships? But I mean, the abuse in relationships is I find a fascinating one that how do people actually get into abusive relationships?
Ah, I could tell you, but it's a long story and it will bore everyone.
I think you've got a few hours to spare. You can't pull that. It's going to bore everyone's shit. Bring it on. You go, and then, yeah.
I think what happens is that, well, certainly in my case, you are pursued by someone with mental disorder, and the more I've thought about it recently, I think it was probably bipolar disorder. And they're very, very calculating, manipulative, and
I don't think it's always calculating and manipulative. You can get calculating
well,
and manipulative people who will exploit these things in relationships, but...
Yeah, but in this case it was. I'll tell you just how calculating and manipulative this person was. After about 6 months of being in a relationship with her, it became abundantly clear that she wanted to move into my apartment.
That'll teach you for being a lawyer.
Somewhat reluctant to allow her to do so. Now, what she did was to manufacture a burglary. That is to say that she arranged things in the house to make it look like they were all stacked up ready to go. She broke the door handle. She called the police. She completely invented.
Don't sleep with this woman. When I say don't sleep with this woman, I mean don't be unconscious in her presence.
No, but this is, you asked me how people end up in this sort of relationship, and this is how it happens. And of course, although I was suspicious, I couldn't at that time be certain that she had manufactured it. I was subsequently told many years later by a member of her own family that she had, and she had completely manufactured this, and the purpose, of course, is I don't feel safe in this house anymore, and I've got to come and stay with you, and that's the sort of slow and calculated way in which some people end up in a relationship which they don't really want, and once you're in it, it's very difficult to get out.
There are, if you like, barriers that hard to get over.
And then, I mean, looking back on it, I accept it's absolute madness, but it happens gradually. The physical abuse sort of started slowly, but became such commonplace that you almost accepted it as a norm.
But people get habitualized to the abusive relationship.
She'd smash things. She obviously she'd hit me, but she'd also smash things over my head. It really annoyed me actually. She took one of my really high quality kitchen. It was actually a pasta spoon, and struck me so hard around the head with it that it actually bent, which really pissed me off. I've got quite a high pain threshold.
Yes, with a spoon.
So I'm not bothered about the pain, but I was really pissed off that the fact that she fucked up this pasta spoon.
Yeah, the head will heal, the spoon won't.
And then this becomes an everyday sort of occurrence, and that's how you gradually slip into this sort of abusive relationship. That's my experience.
I've seen
that's how it happened
others
with me.
do it. I mean, for me, I've just got like zero tolerance. I mean, people start getting even skittish if they. It's like, I can do without that sort of grief in my life. But I've seen others, and a lot of it is you always get something out of a relationship, and that's the hook. So, and what one part, well, yeah, there are always two in the relationship, and what one party of the relationship will do is sort of lightly redefine the relationship through their actions, like hitting you or something, right? Push the boundaries. And if you yield to those boundaries, then they'll keep pushing and they'll keep pushing until you find the limit, right? And yeah, I mean, because it's this crazy thing. I mean, if someone starts hitting you with a pasta